Today is Wednesday, April 19th, 2017. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor Game Changers Week 7.
This episode was titled, There's a New Sheriff in Town. I guess that title covered both of them.
Cirie said something later on when we get there. I kind of thought that might have been the title.
For the
Had they shown them separately.
Yeah, had they been separate episodes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that came from Cirie, and it actually comes from later on. It comes from the second one, doesn't it? I think that's at the...
Does it?
I think it is in the second half when we get her saying that. I don't remember exactly.
So.
Well, we'll see as we go through and do the recap chronologically. If we're able to maintain our discipline. Previously on Survivor, over at the Mana Tribe, Haley and Michaela have been left out of the majority.
Of Brad's alliance is what they said, not the majority.
Yeah.
Brad's alliance.
Oh, okay, all right. Get specific, that's good. At Nuku, Varner is on the outs and he got desperate, and he really got desperate, so we get to relive a little bit of that again, and he gets voted out. 13 are left. Okay, it's Nuku Camp, day 19. Sarah said, the way she said that to Ty bugged me a little bit. Because she said, you all forgave him. I don't forgive him. It's like she's putting some of that on Ty a little bit because he forgave him. Ty said, well, yeah, I get you're still upset, but it's in my nature to reach out and forgive and nurture.
Well, at least she did go back and say, well, I'm not upset that you forgave him.
She didn't qualify it. It didn't come across well, and I thought, oh, that's a good lesson. Because I'm right there with Sarah. I didn't forgive him immediately either. So,
well, I don't know if it was just her facial expressions or what, but it did come across as disapproving at the very least.
Yeah, like there was something less for having forgiven him.
Right.
Yeah, that was the sentiment.
What she really wanted to say was, I can't believe you forgave him so quickly.
And she reiterates her point about Zeke is Zeke, and I'm very happy that I got to know him as Zeke before all this blew up. And Zeke tells them, as they're gathered around camp there, that he's touched by how they responded, which was good for them to be able to share, and talks about how tough it is and how Survivor's made him tough, resilient, and given him the ability to adapt better.
Yeah, and he said this made him feel braver and bolder. Mm-hmm. Which I think he displayed without jumping ahead, of course.
I knew you would within less than 5 minutes.
I didn't.
Not full on, you're right.
I did not.
Ozzy said, yep, let's move past it. And Zeke said, I'm here to play. Not only am I here to play, I'm here to win. So he's definitely moving forward, looking forward.
And Ozzy said he was glad to move on.
Time to get back to the game. Okay, it's day 19 there. I'm sure it's in the morning. Come on in, guys. And you can see they're carrying their stuff, right? They got pots and pillows and all kinds of stuff as they come walking in and see the big merge table. Yeah, so they had to know
something.
Yeah, Tree Mail told them to bring their stuff, for the folks at the one camp at least.
It's merge time, they knew what was coming, so.
Except there's a twist, because it's Game Changers.
Yeah. And that they make them decide. There's no drawing, anything or whoever. You have to have someone volunteer.
Either volunteer instead of if you don't volunteer, instead of the merge feast, you get a cracker and a sip of tea. That was what was under the blanket there.
That's what you do to everyone else if you're that selfish.
Yeah.
Well, we had talked about it, and I totally thought Culpepper was would do it. Mm-hmm. That I thought they were just going to make them decide as a group, but I still thought he'd say something like, "Oh no, I can't possibly decide. I'll just do it myself. I can't bear to send anyone else."
Well, he framed it, a little differently than that.
Deprive anyone else.
Yeah, because it was, what would Monica do?
Yeah.
As the hashtag informs us that comes up on the screen, is it was like he was responding to what Zeke had said about the importance of fuel, and you get Ozzy saying, "Man, I don't think I can give it up. I don't think I can do
I can't
that."
give it up. Well, Ozzy's fed everyone else. He should be allowed to eat without having to provide. So,
what did you think about Zeke's confessional they were intermixing in, where he's describing what Culpepper did? He said Brad falls on his sword. That's one of the taglines for the Culpeppers, is to sacrifice for others.
yeah,
I thought he nailed that pretty well.
he did, and yet
Because Monica was known for doing that, too.
it was what was expected, and trying to play the way Monica did has served him well in this season. So,
At least invoking
So
her
far.
name has served him well, yes.
well, I got to think that that's what he thinks, and that's what she told him to do. Just think about what I would do.
What did you think when Ty volunteered?
I wasn't surprised at all.
As the nurturer in his tribe, it fit,
that's
right?
totally Ty. And I thought, but you're such a little bitty thing now, you're just going to blow away.
And yet that also means he needs less than everyone else.
Yeah, and he can probably find more things to eat,
Well, although
Some
that was
greens.
really the twist of this, because this came with more of an evil little twist. It wasn't like they get sent off for the day or the afternoon or
yeah.
anything. They walk down
Go
the beach,
sit over there.
and they're within hearing what's
distance.
going on, as well as inside of the actual merge feast that's
I know,
going
but
on.
now that was just mean. That was cruel.
Yeah.
That was just
So
cruel.
Brad was like, "Oh, I volunteer," and he's being selfless, and I can fish, I can feed myself. It's like, well, no, you can't, because you have to go sit on the stump down the beach. There really is no feed yourself option.
And then if you could feed yourself, why haven't you been feeding your tribe? So,
Well, you kind of knew he was just saying that, though.
yeah.
That was part of his pitch for why he was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea told us that Ty was just so selfish and selfless, rather.
And she's so happy.
Yeah, she's thrilled that he's selfless.
He's so generous.
And Cirie says, "Yeah, there's brownie points for volunteering, but that's about as far as it goes."
Let's give him a big hug.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, the merge feast ensues.
No, you forgot something.
What did I skip?
What did Cirie have to say?
I just said it. That there was brownie points for him for volunteering.
No, that volunteering made her suspicious of them. Not brownie points.
I didn't get that. Well, she did say the brownie points part. So between us, maybe we got the whole thing. How's that?
Okay. We'll settle for that.
Yeah. Okay, so the merge feast ensues, and there's people having quick discussions but enjoying the food, and Debbie gets weird. Debbie gets fake drunk and decides to grind on Cirie, and what she mooned. She was twerking. And
Twerking for Ty, and
while informing us during her confessional that she didn't drink any alcohol at all. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I believe that. I didn't believe it. I liked her framing it all that way.
well, it made me wonder again, that whole thing with Brad where she, just kind of went off and went a little bit over the top, or a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm trying to be kind.
Yeah.
If that was all just a big act for attention or something.
Well, isn't a lot of what we appear to see Debbie do an act for attention? Isn't that the general conclusion?
Yeah, but they're not all that over the top.
They're definitely not to that
And
level.
That's not good attention.
That's what you're left thinking.
Yeah.
I did skip over a little part there that I want to go back to when Brad and Ty were talking down the beach, and they congratulated each other. And Brad said, "Well, I think at this point I've maneuvered enough with Ty and bonded with him that I'm his Caleb." And they're clear that Haley and Michaela are first to go.
Yep.
At which point we were both a little optimistic because we both had them going.
True. So
And Ty
we were
tells
kind of
us-
like, which one of us gets the point?
Yeah, Ty tells us
It's not
that-
me.
Ty tells us that he loves Brad and they've got the numbers and he's happy. And Haley said, I think Debbie was using alcohol as an excuse to cut loose. I liked what Cirie said at one point, though.
What?
I mean, if Debbie was faking the whole thing, then I guess it's a little suspect. But she was looking at Debbie and she said, I can see your drunk eyes. I thought that was a good line. I can see your drunk eyes. Yeah. She mooned, I mentioned that before, she mooned Ty and Ty responded, I don't need to see that.
Oh, I
That
thought
was a
she
good
just
comeback.
twerked at him. I didn't
No.
think she
She
mooned him.
dropped trowel.
Oh.
She gave him the full moon.
Okay, well, that's a little over the top
Yeah,
again, but
right.
whatever. I'm not
Well,
sure
and
what her strategy was behind all that.
Well, she's disarming them. In that sense,
I'm not
is really,
dangerous. I'm
really-
not dangerous.
I'm quirky Debbie,
I'm
and it's
just
okay for you to
goofy
think of me
Debbie.
as quirky drunk Debbie cutting loose.
Yeah, and I just go along with whatever y'all want.
That part's really impressive. There's more to come that's impressive with her this
With
episode.
Debbie, yes.
Because I always
Yes,
want to
I agree.
acknowledge good gameplay, even though if
Yep.
I'm not a fan of the person that's it's exhibiting it. I like the disarming, her taking advantage of the merge feast to do that and to make it not about her and don't worry about her.
Well, it's easy to think that she wasn't playing, but obviously she is. And she took what Cochran had to say to heart, because then she makes up with Brad.
Right. We get to see more and more evidence, and as a visual palate cleanser after all the Debbie mooning and twerking, we do get to see this beautiful school of golden fish on the screen there. Right? They cut to another
Yep.
big school of fish swimming. Yeah, and then Debbie does her apology. And she tells us she did it because of exactly what you were just saying. That discussion with Cochran. Cochran said, swallow your pride and do this. And so she goes all in on it.
So were you surprised, or did you expect that Zeke would tell the other people what had happened at tribal council?
I think it would have been too hard on everyone. It would have just been energy that they didn't have to not cover it.
To try to get it as, keep it as equal. or
Yeah,
something?
just to stay mum about it, because they always talk about the vote outs, and they're
Right.
always curious how that's part of what you get to tell. That's part of your currency, your information, something that you get to share. And so, yeah, it was good for them to say that and to air that out.
Well, and Aubrey certainly had even more respect for him after that. So
She totally agreed. The experience does change you.
then we flip over to seeing Ozzy, Troy, and Brad talking strategy.
Yeah, they're saying they got the numbers, and it's Michaela first. Did that
Again.
make you happy?
No, because I thought it was too early in the show. I was like, oh, dang. Though I still didn't think it would necessarily be Haley, though she was one of the ones I thought would be at risk. She's original Mana.
Yep, just the sheer numbers, the red versus blue. Of which Michaela was too. And as they're telling us here, Brad's saying, look, she's got a bad reputation and there's no trust in Michaela.
But Brad also say, I have Debbie in my back pocket.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, Brad. I think that may come back to bite you if she
Yeah.
so chooses.
Yeah, right in your back pocket. As they say, right?
Yeah, I think so. He's certainly setting that up. So
So we got a lot of quick discussions right here because they're trying to set up what's going to happen and what Cirie's going to do, because Ozzy and Zeke talk and they're like, yeah, it's Michaela, and Haley and Ty talk and they're
Ozzy
100%.
tells Zeke, Ty, and Sarah, and even they brought Haley in, and
Right.
then Sierra
And
goes
Ty.
and tells Aubrey, Sierra, Sarah,
Cirie says, yep, that's easy. Yeah.
and she tells Zeke, stick to the plan. I thought, okay, she's nodding to a previous season.
Yes.
Go, Keith.
Yeah. That was good. That was nice of her. Then we had a quick cut over to the flag, the Maku Maku.
And
I didn't look up to
you
see
know,
what that means yet. I'll have to ask Haley.
Sierra also, talked a lot about how Michaela was always sneaking around and listening to everybody and butting in on their conversations and showing up.
Yes,
and,
Sierra was really bugged by her, huh?
and then, of course, Michaela walks up and
Right
interrupts
as she
them.
says it, yeah.
As she's talking
right on
to
cue. Yeah,
Or so it seemed.
yeah.
Well, and here's where we get to see where it looks like Zeke, Cirie, Andrea, and Sarah have a 4.
Mm-hmm.
And they look tight at that point anyway. And Zeke tells us these are all the smiles before the bloodbath.
Oh, yeah, this is when they were in the shelter, too, right? When the chicken was up above Cirie.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, gotta get that chicken off. Stuff keeps dropping on me with that chicken up there. Mm-hmm. It turns out it was like an analogy for what was going on up there.
It was laying an egg.
Yeah, so maybe that was a plan was hatched, or in the negative sense or the fail sense,
I like that.
laid an egg. Yeah, Zeke's telling us that he wants to figure out if he can use Michaela, and it's going to come down to who can strike first.
Well, then we go to day 21, and Andrea is walking around out on the rocks as Troy comes up and
In her
starts
bikini.
going, click, click.
And that's what he does, right? He's a
He's
photographer.
a photographer, models.
for bikini models too. So
And then
she's
she
doing
falls.
good, and then she slips, but she handled it all gracefully
She did.
with a laugh.
She fell gracefully
Mm-hmm.
and got up gracefully.
Haley tells us she's gonna light a fire under Michaela. She wants to see if she can stir things up a little bit.
Yeah, and because not a lot of people are working with Haley, so she's getting clued in.
Yes.
Yeah, and Michaela obviously knows that she's out of the loop as well and talks to Cirie about it. I liked that Cirie took the time to coach her.
Yeah, and she somehow, even though it seemed like before her Cirie's tactless instruction to people, somehow it came off better overall.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
Her
thought she gave
bluntness
her
worked in this case.
perfect advice for Michaela.
Right. You need to control your emotions. You can't shut down. You need to chill out. You need to get what'd she say? Get unhappy? Get unmad?
Well, yeah, if you're reacting to something, then don't undo it.
She says she used to be a hothead just like her. And
Well,
that pushes people away and makes them uncomfortable
And
out here.
she explains about it doesn't matter what's real and what isn't. What's real to them is their perceptions. That is their
Right.
reality. Accept that, and you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
So-
Very, very solid advice. It's like Michaela's been needing this because I hadn't thought Michaela's played well at all this whole
season,
time.
yeah, last season we thought she played really well.
She's definitely made it seem like she was in her Tea with Michaela B things. If you just went off how she seemed to be viewing herself, she seemed like she thought she was doing better, I guess, would be my evaluation of that and her demeanor. But until this point, she didn't have it. At least what we got from the edit said that she was playing a horrible game, and that seems to be backed up by everyone's perceptions as we were leading into this, where Cirie gave her some really solid advice.
The cool thing for me was that Cirie did that in order to groom her, if you will, for an alliance if she needed her.
Down the road, yeah.
But she wouldn't hesitate to vote her out the next vote either.
This is the Cirie that we've been waiting to see.
There's the Cirie, yeah. There
Yeah.
she is.
So she finally got out of first gear, I would say, in this episode.
Well, she said it was the merge now, time to step it up.
Yeah.
And I think she totally delivered on that this episode.
Yeah, I like how Cirie summarized it. I like her trust was built here. And I liked what Michaela said, too. Wouldn't it be awesome if 2 black women got to the end? So, yeah, that would be fabulous to see.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen.
Doesn't seem like it. Because Michaela may have damaged her game beyond repair right now.
Yeah.
It just depends on... I'd say Michaela's a pawn. And
Yeah, I think
she's
so,
being
too.
moved around the board. She's not moving herself around
She
the board.
only goes if Cirie really needs her and can use her to get
You're right.
where she's going. Just
Or
like Sandra was
if she
doing.
doesn't basically factor in at all, she gets to stay. That's where her gameplay is, whereas Cirie seems like it's in a completely different level.
All right, immunity challenge number 1.
Community challenge. Time for endurance challenges.
The very first challenge.
What'd you think of the immunity necklace?
Not much.
Yeah, Troyzan said that's pretty funky looking. It was
Yeah.
kind of. It looked like something that someone threw together very quickly. I'll say it that way.
Okay.
There's like a key on it
From
and
what
some
was at
shells
hand.
and yeah, and it's like, what's in that box over there? Oh, well, here's a trident.
Yeah,
Oh,
grab that.
perfect. Then,
Hurry
you know,
up.
Get
They're
some
going to
shells.
do
They need it.
We forgot.
They need it quickly.
Hand me those and throw me those.
Yeah,
and
go grab some shells
so,
out of the
okay,
bucket
let's
over
go.
there.
Here,
Yeah.
take this to Jeff.
This'll do. It's got some rope. Yeah, it looks nautical. There's a trident.
It was simplistic.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so they had to, we've seen this challenge before,
Yep.
stand on the tip of the toes, which, brutal.
They got a little rectangular board they put on top of their head, a block, really. And they have to stand on their tiptoes to push the block into the board above them
Yeah, and the frame.
to get it to hold it there.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I
Yeah,
do
that's
not.
good. Think about trying to stand in a door frame without letting
Yeah.
the block drop
I
off your
do
head.
not believe that after all these seasons that we've seen this, we've never seen anyone drop to the ground screaming with a cramp in their calf.
Because you know
Because
you
I
get
know
cramp.
I would.
Yeah.
I can
You're
do
gonna
that
get a
just
cramp.
waking up at night.
Yeah.
And oh.
Right.
It's like, I can't believe nobody had that. Come on.
Well, I'd say Haley, Troyzan, and Zeke give a pretty close approximation of what you're describing. They dropped within 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. They basically wanted no part of that.
Well, some of those that dropped early in both immunity challenges, I thought, yeah, I don't think there's the same motivation if you don't think you're the one that's really in jeopardy.
Right. And it can be
Right.
hazardous to be a winner.
I'm not putting myself through this.
Right.
I'll just drop.
Yeah, and we definitely see examples of that in the challenge. Michaela keeps telling herself, relax. And Andrea's talking about how it hurts because you're not used to having a block pushing on the top of your head.
We're used
Anything
to-
hard pushing on. Just take your fingers and push on the top of your head and see how that feels. Now imagine a square block
Okay,
pushing
you can
down
stop
on it.
doing it now.
Yeah, that'll get you quickly.
Funny. Okay, were you surprised that Haley was the first one to drop?
I don't know what to think of Haley's game this season. She hasn't been a factor in. I think I got biased, I guess, by the early reports we got on her about how poorly she was doing, and so it just kind of set off this expectation
from
that
the
she
first
was.
people voted out.
Yeah, in the first interviews, it just set this expectation for me that she wasn't. She did not connect.
That you didn't have expectations.
Yeah, well, I just expected her to be a fail. So that's my long answer. Right. The short answer is no. I'm not surprised she
You already
didn't
blew that.
because she wasn't doing well on the whole for this season, unfortunately.
Yeah. I was still surprised that
She
in
had her moments
that
earlier
particular challenge that she
when the pressure
went
should
out
have been
first.
on a little more. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's like, you're in jeopardy here.
And you already were aware of that. So
Yeah.
maybe that was the best she could do.
Well, yeah, in the moment, because you just never know.
Because you could see Michaela's reaction. Hers was, she's fighting. She's talking to herself. Relax. Okay. Hold it.
I think it just distracted her.
Yeah. She was fighting, though. If that was Haley
She was,
fighting
yeah.
to stay in and not lasting 5 seconds, that was pitiful.
Well, then
Michaela's
Troy,
was fighting.
do you think Troy is deliberately going out of these things just to not look like a threat? Because he just looks weak.
I think it's both. I think it truly is both. Because you can see in some of the challenges that it's completely wiping him out. Right? In the
Yeah,
physical
I noticed.
exertions, he drops to the ground. Multiple times he's done that. But at the same time, that was part of his reputation his first time out, was to go on an immunity challenge, win, binge, to stay in. So, yeah, he's trying to keep some of that shade off of himself for sure.
Okay.
But
well,
he's playing up some of the weaker, feebler side right now.
And Zeke went out pretty quick. That didn't last
Yep.
long. Then Cirie, that didn't surprise me that Cirie went out. But Debbie,
Debbie went out. Yep.
I didn't expect her to be that, or Michaela,
I
really.
wasn't surprised by Debbie bailing.
And then Ozzy,
That was a little surprising, yeah.
Aubrey, and Brad. It's like, whoa, okay. And they were,
Culpepper went out and took him down to 4.
25 minutes into the game.
So
All
it's
those were out.
Sarah, Andrea, and Cirie squaring off against Ty.
Yep. And once again, Andrea wins. And, I keep saying they need to be, Zeke's right. They need to watch out for her.
Yep. She becomes the first woman to win this challenge. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. She wins first immunity. You and I were having a quick discussion about the significance of winning immunity, how it may not put you out as a big challenge threat this early, right?
I think it will.
Yeah. And you think that's
You
part of the
didn't think it
response?
would. I did.
I thought that you could get by a little bit by the early ones
No.
because the recency bias just becomes more intense the closer you get to 39.
Yeah. No.
It becomes more significant having won them as you go along.
Nobody
longer.
forgets who won what.
Yeah.
Anyway, we go to where it's over. Andrea wins. Then we flip over to Cirie saying, "I love having control."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, uh-oh. But they were worried about an idol. So this is when we start getting the talk about splitting the vote between my choice and yours.
Yes.
So we're like, oh no.
Yeah, Cirie, who was it? Cirie, Andrea, and Sarah were talking. And Cirie said since Haley was playing so confidently, she had never seen her play that confidently. That was where that suspicion came from.
They thought she must have an idol.
Right. And so she goes and tells Cirie that.
And
Throw 4 votes for Haley, she tells Cirie, and then the rest of us are going to vote for Michaela.
yeah, and then they're going to tell Michaela that it's Zeke.
Because he has the best story to win,
Well, I
they
think
say.
they told them both, didn't they? Haley and Michaela? It was going to be
Probably,
Zeke?
yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense that they would.
So then Cirie goes and tells Zeke what they're planning, and that they think Haley may have an idol, and she thinks that Haley's really on their side, and that they just want to keep her as a number.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also showing us a little bit of her paranoia or
Sure.
thought process during the game. I don't know that it's paranoia because that could well be true. It isn't.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't obviously have the same relationship with Haley as Michaela, so that doesn't work for Cirie.
Right. And she's going to try to... Cirie tells us she doesn't like that vote for Michaela, so she's going to try to work some magic, and that's part of why she's reaching out to Zeke. So Zeke turns around and goes back to Cirie and said, why not throw the majority on Haley? It was
Yeah.
a little risky, huh?
I did not understand that.
Where that came from like that.
Yeah, and why would you risk upsetting Cirie also?
Why would who risk upsetting?
Zeke,
He's
that
not.
he runs right to Cirie and starts talking.
Well, I think
and,
that's what Cirie wanted.
And
Cirie wanted. Cirie's all about getting the majority off
Well, I
of
didn't-
Michaela.
yeah, but I don't think she wanted to discuss it with Cirie and those guys. Zeke was just in her alliance,
See, I
from
thought she
what we
did.
could tell.
I thought she was perfectly okay, and that was her pulling those strings.
Maybe.
That was her connection to do it indirectly, without having it come back on her the way Cirie's suspicions about Zeke, got highlighted because he came in and said that.
So you think Cirie was able to be devious enough to
To
go,
leverage Zeke.
if she gets upset by us pointing this out and rather going with Haley, then she's going to be upset with Zeke and not with me.
Yeah.
Because
she's-
Ciara was. She said he wants to be in control.
Yes, exactly.
But this is when we get the line,
And we don't want Michaela to come back and wreak havoc on us.
there's a new sheriff in town.
Exactly.
And it's in the first episode, not second. Thank you.
Yes, you're right. Yep.
I know.
Cirie's telling us that she's building the numbers for her army. That's why I really thought that she was really calling and executing that play with Zeke to Cirie.
Well, and I'm surprised that, Michaela is taking direction from Cirie, as far as we can see, because Cirie's very carefully telling her, do not say anything to
Don't blow
anyone.
this up.
Don't do this. You have to vote for Zeke.
They're lying
Just
to you
do
about
like they
Zeke.
told
Yeah.
you. You know.
We're trying to save you. And to Michaela's, I guess, as far as we're concerned with her growth, this is a growth moment for her. Mm-hmm. Right?
She's listening, paying attention.
And she's able to follow. She appears to be able to do this, to follow through with what Cirie's telling her.
Tribal Council number 1. Debbie tells Jeff,
Hold on. Cirie has to get fired. This is her first time at Tribal Council.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
I'm so
it's
sorry.
an important moment.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Her first time after the merge.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
pretty impressive.
I'd have been really nervous if I was her.
Yeah. Well, I think she's been plenty nervous. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So Cirie gets fired. Zeke tells us, yeah, there's definitely a shift at the merge. It's insanity. You can't keep up with everyone. And it felt like that too when they did that. They were doing that montage of everybody talking and all the different pairs discussing things back at the merge feast. I couldn't keep up with everyone. Could you? They were bouncing around.
No, not completely. And obviously, Haley's upfront about she feels like she's in the dark. And Michaela,
That was a good analogy
Said,
she
yeah.
did. Blindfolded, about to be shot. Yeah. Yeah, and just a little bit before that, Andrea had told us that the lines are drawn, and this is where you get to see where the alliances really are. Even Debbie's thing, when she was asked about musical chairs, which musical chairs is a good description for what happens at this stage. I thought Probst did good with that one. But Debbie says, no shock. She's doing okay this time, so it's on board. Michaela, yep, certainly she's worried, and she wants to know who's guiding this, who's calling these shots to look at the blindfolded people.
well, and were you surprised that Ty started talking some strategy in that?
Yeah, he caught me
You
off
need
guard
to
with that.
talk that you need to be looking 2 or 3 votes ahead tonight. Mm-hmm. Kind of, I'm thinking,
Didn't expect that
hello,
from
is this
him."
Ty?
Right.
What? And why are you saying that in Tribal Council in front of everyone?
Well, that's part of what he does.
It's like, keep that part to yourself. Don't let them know because, they don't really think you're strategizing. You're just kind of going along. And you are, and we've seen little things, but there's no need to tell everyone.
So it's going along pretty typical at this point. Ozzy's asked what the criteria is for the vote, and he said, it's risk, and you got to watch for idols. Debbie said, yeah, this might be a time to flush the idols. This is tribal is the Coliseum, and this is the battle. This is the exciting part. And was it Cirie? Yeah, it was Cirie, right? She said that you may have to strip down to show that you don't have an idol to put everyone at ease.
Good on Haley. I'll do it.
Right, yeah.
If it'll keep me in the game, I'll do it.
Right.
I'll show you I don't have an idol.
So I liked what she was saying, but it was like she failed to realize the full significance of it.
Well, and that she, instead of just getting up and dumping her bag and going, see, and nothing in here, it's an idol.
She said, you have to ask me to do it. Mm-hmm. Whereas she should have realized, and I do want to ask her about this, did she go ahead and do it? Go ahead and shake her bag out. Because what has she got to lose? It just doesn't, there's nothing, I don't think keeping it a secret at this point is going to help her at all, especially if she truly believes she's blindfolded.
Well, she fought hard, and I appreciate that in any player. And, she was almost a little bit confrontational with, somebody man up, and why don't you take out a big target, not me.
Right. Look at who's blindfolded, look at who's weaker. And she even basically said, look, I don't know why I'm here. I'm not a game changer. Why do you need to take me out? Which was valid.
And she doesn't have a tight alliance. I'm a number.
Right.
But the problem with that is
They had already made their decision.
They had made their decision, and
And
they couldn't trust her.
They were definitely
Or didn't trust her.
They weren't interested in alternatives at that stage, and unfortunately for her, it was essentially done. And when Cirie goes to vote, she writes Michaela's name and saying, this is me being deceiving. It means nothing. Mm-hmm. Which is an example of what Ty was talking about. Thinking 2-3 votes down the line.
Yeah. She was saying hopefully it'll give us longevity in the game.
Cover.
And because I'm sure she was told to write Michaela. So she needed to cover herself.
Yep.
So that's what she did.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good plan for hiding their alliance.
So Haley and Michaela vote Zeke, like they were told.
Mm-hmm. Not knowing any better.
Cirie, Sarah, Zeke, and Andrea voted Michaela, and everyone else voted for Haley.
Yes. Bye-bye. First on jury.
Yep, first on jury. And Haley tells us...
That means I got 2 points on that.
Oh, shut up, like you didn't realize that already.
I didn't.
Shut up.
I didn't. I hadn't realized.
I said it to you out loud.
I hadn't realized how great that was.
I said you get 2 points. High five, baby.
And you had Michaela, so you didn't actually get any.
I didn't get zip there.
Right.
Yes, you may point that out again.
So what happened to us points-wise at this stage?
We became tied.
Tied. We're tied.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Uh-huh.
First on jury bonus. Sweet. I like those.
Have I ever gotten one? I don't think so.
Yeah, you
or
have.
The first.
At which point you've claimed every time, I never get these.
I don't. Not in my memory, which lasts about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
If I'm
Try
lucky.
36 hours.
Or less
on a
now.
good day. Yeah.
Sometimes minutes.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
So, okay, I can't even deny that. So, not gonna.
Okay,
I'll
so
forget in a minute anyway.
They get back to camp there on day 22, and Cirie and Michaela are having a discussion. Cirie tells her, "Hey, you trusted me, and it worked out, but don't tell anyone." Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Michaela had said just prior to that when I think was it Ty asked her, I forgot who. Anyway, how did you sleep? She said she slept perfectly. Best sleep out there. And Michaela's got no problem deferring to Cirie at this point. That she's clear on how well that's working.
It worked for her.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I'm thinking, yeah, they're, Cirie, they've got Zeke and Andrea and Sarah and Aubrey and Michaela. They're doing great.
Yeah.
Or so I thought.
Yeah, except Cirie and Aubrey and Zeke are concerned that the war's going to start, and they want to know where the numbers are, and they want to come out on the good side of it. Mm-hmm. If you were just coming in right now, you would think that they were about to go to tribal council the way this discussion goes down.
Yeah,
huh?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like they're already planning who we're going to vote out next. It's like, wait, this is the start of the show, right?
It was Cirie, right? She said Sierra's the godfather, and Brad reports to her, and Troyzan reports to Brad. That's our kill chain right there.
Yep. That means cut off Sierra's head.
Right. Then Brad, then Troyzan. Yep.
But Andrea, she's concerned about Debbie and Ty. She said Debbie's a wild card, and that they need to keep. That she wants to go after Sierra as well as Cirie, but that she wants to keep Debbie out of the loop for sure.
Right, because she's playing hard. Yeah, she has picked up on that, which is good. So Debbie's not completely under the radar.
Yeah, or Ty either, because, Andrea's saying they're both playing the game. So let's be a little bit careful what we tell them.
Yeah, I liked before when Zeke said that he'd be happy and he'd skip to the voting booth to vote out Sierra or Brad, right?
Well, then Zeke tells us right after this that, Cirie and Andrea are the ones controlling things right now. Why don't I just get rid of...
It dawns on him
them?
He's not in the right place where he needs to be. He's not calling the shots.
It's
not in position, he says.
Yeah, but you got to have other numbers. You got to make sure you have the other numbers in order to do that, to take out your own alliance.
I think this was a great moment right here too in that confessional with Zeke that follows these discussions with Cirie and with Andrea, in that he's debating, do I move early? Do I try to make a big move early? Or, which one am I going to regret? That I moved too early like I did last time, or that I didn't make a move. And he's trying to use this as criteria to help him decide how to proceed. And he chooses, if I'm going to regret, I want to regret having moved too early. So he goes back to that mindset that got him out. And there's definite risk with that, obviously. That's why he's concerned about it. But given the option of not trying versus moving too early, he's all about, I want to go ahead and take action.
I disagree with him a little in that it's not about not trying. It's just about knowing the right time.
And you can't know.
And you can't know.
That's his point.
Well, you can't know, but you can evaluate everything and use your best judgment instead of just making a move to make a move is not a wise choice.
And I don't think he's doing that because he recognizes he's out of position. He is in jeopardy. He didn't even know how big a jeopardy he was in at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because he's just part of Cirie's numbers and part of Andrea's plan.
Well, I think that's what set him off is that he's not being talked to by the others. He's getting his information from them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not comfortable in that rank and position in his alliance.
And so at this point, he says, yes, Cirie and Brad are a threat, but Cirie and Andrea are the bigger threats. That's where I really need to focus.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
He's telling the truth.
Yep.
They are.
He can see it. It's not clear that anyone else really sees it, but it does line up with a lot of what we get to see sitting objectively watching from the couch, right?
But if they can't see it, then they're less likely to go along with it because they don't feel threatened if they don't see it, if their opinion differs.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's go to the reward challenge, shall we?
Award challenge, yes.
Okay.
2 teams of 6.
Yep.
2 people go out and get the net with the fish tied in it, and then 2 people untie the fish and carry it up to the puzzle platform, and then 2 people solve the puzzle. To win, the award is spa time.
A day of luxury.
Yeah, get a shower, get clean.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Burgers and apple pie.
Oh, what that would feel like to have a shower and put lotion on your body, though I couldn't have handled any of that scented stuff.
Yeah, that all really sets you off bad, doesn't it?
It really.
So, for the folks who may not know, Marshall's, that's like a department store here in the U.S., right? I don't know if I've ever been in one, but I've seen commercials for one.
You can say that about most of the stores.
That's true. I don't go into stores much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so I just thought I'd share that for the folks that weren't in the U.S. or the folks that don't have Marshalls around them and wondered what that was.
That's a good idea. Okay, because they provided all the lotions and the robes and the lovely towels and all that good stuff. Oh, a towel must have felt so good. I would have
Clean towels, yeah.
I would have wanted to really.
Bathrobe.
They would have had to strip search me on the way out to get my towel.
Yeah, to get it back.
They'd been like, no, please just let me have the towel.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Troyzan and Ozzy square off against Culpepper and Sarah to free the net with the fish in it. And so we have two. We kind of have 2 runaway fish in this award challenge. At first, when Culpepper and Sarah are bringing the net back, there's a fish that breaks away. It gets untied, starts floating off, right?
It was swimming away.
Yeah, and Sarah goes back to grab that while Culpepper brings the big net in by himself. And then when Andrea and Ty were bringing them up to the puzzle platform, they missed one. So a fish for the other team caused a setback. But they did really good. Culpepper and Sarah were ahead until they had to go back and get the fish, and then Ozzy and Troy caught up with them.
Passed them.
Yep. I liked what Ozzy did. Ozzy, he's always in the moment figuring out the most optimum way to do a challenge. That's his legacy to me. Where I think back to Cook Islands when he's doing the zip line thing where he swung himself tucked up under so that he would go faster, down the zip line. In this case, he stuck his foot. He realized that the board and the net and the fish would float, so he just hooked his foot into it and then started swimming, pulling with his arms to help drag it in with Troyzan. That's not really significant in the scheme of things, but it just was another one of those little examples of how good at Ozzy is at optimizing something right in the moment in a challenge.
You know what I would have liked to have seen from the start?
What's that?
The schoolyard pick.
Yeah, given how it went down with the different captains. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, who did Sarah pick first and who did Andrea pick first?
Yeah, because I was thinking, the Ty, Ozzy, Troyzan, Zeke, Andrea, that team's just going to crush them. But it ended up being really close. Okay, so Andrea and Ty, like I said, they have to go back, carry the big pole with the 14 fish. They have to go back because they missed one, left one tied into the net. So they were just so
Ozzy was
focused.
so frustrated.
Yeah, he was upset, wasn't he? But they were so focused they missed the fact that they didn't have 14, even though Probst is yelling that out during the challenge, and that there's supposed to be 2 on every hook, and Andrea missed one. But they double back and get it, and then
Puts them behind, and Cirie and Cirie start the puzzle.
yeah,
Give them a head start.
looks like they're doing good. They've got one half the puzzle done, and then they start struggling a little bit, at which point Zeke and Debbie make a comeback.
Okay, now who impressed you?
Debbie.
Debbie.
She seemed to be getting the first fish puzzle down. Now, she didn't get it all perfect, but
No,
she was...
but she was whipping that stuff down there.
We saw her make some solid... It looked like some solid contributions to the puzzle, right? Where she
Absolutely.
correctly placed a few.
Yep.
Zeke had to go back in and redistribute a few as they
all
made
had to tweak them.
a come from behind win. Yeah, it looked like Sierra just kind of got overwhelmed when her and Cirie got to
they
the
had a
second
big
puzzle,
one.
and it
They
was so...
didn't quite know what to do with it.
Didn't realize that there was... And this is the thing about Survivor puzzles. There's more than one way that things will fit together and look correct, even though they're not. So
Until you get to the very end piece and go,
I realize,
this does not
didn't work. So yeah, Zeke and Debbie mount a great comeback, and they end up winning the Marshall's, what was it? Marshall's Lounge
Marshall's reward.
reward. Yeah. So good job on Andrea, Ty, Troyzan, Ozzy, Zeke, and Debbie. Good win. Sarah tells us this is a huge letdown.
Yeah, and again, we've heard Sarah say this before. I have options. It depends on which team I want to go with and who they're voting for, because
Right.
Sarah's still putting herself on both tribes, which is
Both alliances,
also,
you mean?
yeah, both alliances, which is also dangerous. Could
Yeah, it
put
got
her
her
in a
in-
good position.
Got her in trouble her
Could
first
put her in a
time.
bad position.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
But she keeps pointing it out, I have options.
She gets to she thinks that she's potentially a swing boat. So yeah, as things are moving forward here in the second.
Well, and Cirie seems to
Math.
take it pretty hard that she and Sierra didn't win, and compares it to not being able to feed her children.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And, bringing up feelings of worthlessness.
Mm-hmm.
That, like she can't do anything right.
Yeah.
And so that was tough.
Yeah.
Then
More tears.
Yep. They take us to the Marshall's Reward Spa Experience, and with all these scented products, and Ty entertains us by streaking through the group.
He references his ex-boyfriend talking about streaking in Arkansas. I never really thought of Arkansas as a streaker kind of capital there, so that was a little bit of a surprise.
You didn't think of it as kind of a
place where
Arkansas would also
with much
have
streaking going on.
rednecks like us in Georgia, right?
Sure.
So why not?
Well, I don't think we were known
Well,
for
he
having
first said the
streakers
80s.
either. Yeah, he was
It's
saying the
like
80s. It's
80s,
like, you mean
I don't think.
70s?
Then he
60s?
said 60s or 70s, and Ozzy's like, I wasn't even alive then.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, Ty, they don't know so much about streaking. And Troy said nothing. He just didn't do it.
Right.
So, but I thought that was cute that Ty was just so open and running through to have fun and entertain everyone.
Zeke ate and seemed like he was enjoying himself. They had those huge pieces of apple pie. They were just like as big as my hand. They were gigantic
That
pieces
almost
of
looked
pie.
like a meat pie. It was so thick.
Yeah, and it was super thick too. You're right. It's like 4 inches, 5 inches thick.
A lot of apples in there.
Yeah. Everybody was chowing down, but Zeke said his mind was still running. So he got to have a conversation with Debbie and Ty, talking about how he was amassing his team of snipers.
Yeah, or he thought he was.
Yeah, how did you like Debbie's response here?
I have to tell you, I'm really impressed with Debbie's gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Still don't know how I feel about Debbie, but her gameplay in this episode.
Because she played along.
She played along,
She
went
did
right
what,
along.
like Malcolm said, you say yes.
Yep, so we're voting Andrea. Okay.
Yeah.
She just tells people what they want to hear.
And then in the confessional, I'm not in Zeke's camp. She's not really a Zeke fan.
Well, and that she doesn't believe him.
Right.
So I'm not just going to believe whatever he tells me.
Right.
So, even though it happened to be true, Andrea did say that, but she shouldn't just automatically believe. She should check things out.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like that her face really didn't seem to change. She was just like, there was no reaction almost. Good, bad. You would think, what? She said, what? But she didn't do any of that. She was just like,
Right.
So I thought that was a little bit odd. You would have expected some kind of reaction.
You thought Debbie should have reacted more to what Zeke was saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Had a reaction like, really? About me? Or something would have, to me, been more natural.
Okay.
But that's just me. That's what I thought when she did that. But.
So it's interesting at this point, right? Because we have so many targets. If you're trying to guess how things are going to play out, we've heard people say, oh, let's vote out Cirie. Let's vote out Brad. Let's vote out Cirie. Let's vote out Andrea. Let's vote out Zeke. But not Ozzy, who was the other person that we had as going.
Thinking, there is
we're
no
not getting
way.
any
We
points
actually said
in this
that. We're
half.
not getting any points.
Yeah.
We both had Ozzy because we didn't think. I thought as soon as Ozzy lost a challenge, he was up
dead.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that didn't happen. But that's what I was thinking when I put him down, because I kept going, no, I'll give up the point. I don't really want to see Ozzy go. I'll lose the point. You were like, no, vote out Ozzy.
Come on, find a way. Okay, day 24, time for another community challenge.
Hang on to that pole.
This is the classic one. Yeah, another classic endurance challenge. Why? Because it just looks like it hurts so much.
I hurt just looking at them.
Right.
And the thought of losing skin on that pole. Just to get down the pole, not to mention my height phobia that would never allow me to be up on that pole.
But you get to choose.
Anyway.
You get to choose where you want to start.
Well, I would be right down in the bottom.
We've seen those behind the scene things before. They bring ladders out, and you just climb up to where on the ladder to where you want to be.
Yeah, I wouldn't need the ladder.
And then they pull the ladders out.
I wouldn't need the ladder.
Yeah, you just wouldn't even get up there, even the first rung.
No, I would get up to the first rung. That's only a few.
You use the ladder.
It's only a couple feet off the floor, off the ground.
Yeah, it's a little higher than that, baby.
Not for your toes. No.
I don't see you stepping up. You're not much of a climber.
2 feet off the ground, so that if
it's higher than that.
If I put my legs down, my feet are going to touch.
I think it's higher
as I'm going.
All right, so you'd start at the first rung. Okay. Yep, and there we can see their different choices people have made for where they want to start. Probst tells us Sierra's done this once before and lost. Ozzy has won both times he's done it.
Well, that was just setting us up.
And Cirie sort of exemplifies what you described. She's out almost immediately.
Yep, I'm out.
Yep.
Not doing this.
Quickly behind her,
Brad.
Yeah. Sarah, Aubrey, they're down to 9.
No,
Debbie.
It wasn't Sarah. It was Cirie, Brad, Aubrey, Debbie, Zeke, Sierra, Troy, and then Sarah.
Oh, it was, I think Sarah was adjusting is what I was making a note about there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, Zeke, Sierra. So half of them are gone. Troy's and Sarah. We're down to 4. Michaela, Ty, Ozzy, and Andrea.
20 minutes in, Michaela and Andrea are still up there.
Ozzy tells us he's going to break his record, at which point Michaela goes,
coming
I'm
off
out.
the pole.
Yeah, I believe him.
I thought that was the wise choice.
Yeah.
They'll be like, yeah. And she
that part
basically
worked.
said she was going to pick her battles.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't, I don't think she could have won that anyway.
I thought Andrea hurt herself. They were at 40 minutes, and she went to adjust, and then she just did this big drop, almost from the top. I thought, wow, she could have broken her ankle. But,
yeah, I thought so too. That Joel, she's lucky she didn't break something.
Yeah, so she literally dropped out of the challenge.
And that was 20 minutes in. An
40.
hour.
40, actually.
Oh, well, an hour and 35 minutes in.
Yeah.
It's still Ty and Ozzy going for it. So I'm sure Michaela looked at that and said, whew,
I chose
I'm
well.
glad I dropped.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Ozzy tells Ty at one point, I know what's to come. I know how the pain intensifies from here. And if I win, I'll fish and provide food for the tribe. And we'll get to eat. But Ty wasn't having any of it. He hung on and ended up winning.
Ty wanted to vote Ozzy out. He wanted to dethrone Ozzy
The queen.
in anything he could. Yeah, the queen.
He said he beat the queen.
Yeah,
I mean the
queen.
king. Yeah.
Either one. So,
Yeah, Ty, after he won, he ran over because Ozzy fell down into the sand. Ty dropped down, ran over, and fell on top of Ozzy.
He gave him a hug and a kiss. And
Yeah, but he was like
then
laying on
helped him
top
up.
of him. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's like at that point, you don't want somebody laying on you. You're
No,
just
that
cooking hot in
exhausted.
the
Oh,
sand.
yeah.
Yeah, and your
Like,
muscles
Ty,
are...
get off me.
Exactly.
What? I'm burning up over here.
Culpepper tells us in his quick confessional after that challenge that sides have been taken. You need to get on the numbers. You need to find a numbers advantage quick because we're about to decide the season here and how it's going to play out.
He said you need to get on one side or the other because it could dictate the rest of the season. Well, thank you, Mr. Obvious.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
was
it
like,
bothered me as much as it bothered you. He's basically saying,
That's a given.
find a majority.
Okay, yeah, but still stating the obvious. Okay, never mind. That was just an
Back at camp there on day 24.
Mm-hmm. We missed some days in there somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. And both times they skipped over. But yep, we're at 24. Ozzy tells us he lost a little skin on that one.
And Zeke is very glad Andrea didn't win. He was going after her.
And he tells Cirie that your name came up when he was talking with Cirie, Andrea, and Aubrey. Mm-hmm. What did you think about Cirie's response to him? I was surprised.
She already didn't like him. She already thought he was bossy and trying to take control, and she had control. She wasn't giving it up, so she told Cirie what Zeke said.
Actually, I wanted to point out the other part of what her response was, which
Okay.
was, he talks to me like I'm stupid. And that right there is just like what it all pivots on. So somehow, some way, he did not know how to interact with her. She felt she had been disrespected for her to have come to that conclusion.
Yep.
Yeah, she was flagging him because it looked like he was switching sides, but that part right there tells you everything you need to know about how she's going to respond to him. He talks to me like I'm stupid.
Well, and what Cirie tells Cirie, she tells Ozzy, Andrea, and Sarah.
Yeah.
It's
And
like,
now it's on.
Yeah.
Now Andrea's going to blow up.
And I agree with Andrea. How did Zeke think this was going to work for him? How was this supposed to play out, Zeke? I'm curious about that too, because I didn't quite understand it
Well, I
either.
think we're about to
Where
see,
are
though.
you going with this?
Yeah. We were on track to see, except when Debbie and Cirie are talking about it. This seems to be the big pivot in the whole thing.
Again for Debbie.
Yeah, and so in Debbie's favor, after Sierra's talking about how this whole thing is frustrating because it feels like she's herding cats and making sure that people are voting the way that they're supposed to, Debbie says, let's take out Ozzy.
She's like, well, if you really want to make a big move, let's take out Ozzy. And Cirie, okay, then off Debbie goes to Ty, to Brad,
Troyzanne, yep.
Sarah.
And here's my big takeaway from this little montage of Debbie spreading who to vote for. Debbie can't whisper. She comes in close for your ear, and evidently she speaks in a voice just like I am right now. That's Ozzy. Right? Because over and over again, she gets really close to the side of someone's head and then seems to speak in a normal tone.
I don't
like
know.
she was not able to.
Maybe,
I don't know if that's the editors having
maybe it's
fun
the
on
microphone.
her having fun at her expense or what, but it did seem a little goofy that she was talking loud when she was getting right up close to their ears.
Well, and again, they point out and they show Sarah saying she's weighing her options.
She thinks she's a swing in the middle, yeah.
Zeke is smart, and he's willing to make big moves, which he is, which makes him very dangerous. That's why I think they probably would have been better off, but everybody wanted the glory of getting Ozzy out, I think, or something. But I still...
Well, they don't know about Debbie's advantage.
No, they don't. But they didn't need it.
They didn't necessarily need
They
it.
didn't know they didn't need it for
Exactly.
sure.
And so Cirie may have thought she was a swing, but she wasn't really.
Sarah.
Sarah,
Not
yeah,
Cirie.
Sarah, yeah. Sarah,
still get a little
Cirie, and
tongue-tied.
Sierra, yeah. It was
So-
still a little too close.
All right, and we're
Tribal?
off to tribal. Number 2.
Haley comes in on the jury. Ozzy says, yep, the stakes are higher. It's cutthroat. All these secret agents running around trying to figure out what's going on and what happened to all the hidden immunity idols, he's wondering.
Yeah, where
'Cause
are they?
They got played, but then we didn't get to see them again. So who's sitting on all these?
Well,
It's
obviously,
a good question.
Ty did not tell his buddy Ozzy
Right.
that he was sitting on 2 of
Nor
them.
did Troyzan, yeah.
Yeah. So that is true. Of course, I wouldn't tell if I were them. That's a smart thing to do.
Sarah
Sarah.
cracks everyone up saying that it feels like they're a bunch of singles looking to hook up. Yeah. Because all the different relationships that are trying to be formed at this point in the game.
Yep. Everybody talking to everybody else.
Ty surprised himself by winning immunity, and Ozzy acknowledges the pressure. Yep, there's lots of talk about trust. And,
Ty surprised himself.
yeah, won immunity. He's immune.
Okay. I don't remember him saying something about that. Okay, never mind.
Well, that was the note I made. Yeah. Ozzy says, yep, he's definitely feeling the pressure. There's lots of talk, trying to figure out where the trust is. But he knows he has value because he feeds them. And there are 15 days left, and that's a long time to go without food.
I thought that was a good point. But it's like before, when they went to tribal council, you never knew what was going to happen, and they weren't necessarily voting as a block, and anything could happen. But this seems to indicate, these last 2 votes seem to indicate that they came in with a decision and they just stuck to it, both sides. That at least that's what
okay.
I felt.
Sure, yeah. Aubrey acknowledges what Ozzy was saying about the importance of the fish. Yep, it is day 24, and it feels much harder this time, and that the only protein they're getting is coming from when
Wasn't
Ozzy
the
brings it in.
Coconuts either.
Right.
The food isn't coming in unless Ozzy brings it. So
At this point, Probst asks Zeke a question about votes on the jury and how to think about that. And this was an interesting twist where Zeke talks about, well, a lot of it comes down to who do I think thinks they can beat me. It's a little convoluted and twisted there, but I thought it was good. And then his point is, how can I make someone who thinks they can't beat me think they can? That's really what I've got to do.
yeah, but why would you tell that in the front of everyone?
I don't know. It was Ty was happy to hear it. He enjoyed the subtlety of it.
Still, again, why would he tell everyone that?
Yeah, Ty says, he's got incredible depth. He's amazing. And Zeke says that he's not too worried. He's at peace. He can't worry all the time, otherwise it would just wreck him out there. So he's made peace for now with it. Debbie's always putting herself in a position when she catches questions like this. She seems to be doing really well, saying, oh yeah, they've got daggers pointed at my back, or I'm at risk of going, or even when she doesn't probably necessarily think that she's a target, she tries to make it like they've made her a target,
Well, and
which makes her less of a target. I think that kind of works to her advantage the way she does this.
she had to bring up her, being in the
Air Force Auxiliary.
yeah, and how she gathers facts, assesses them, and then carries it through.
Yeah, she doesn't know who she's with exactly at this point. Yeah.
I thought, yeah, that's not true. That was a lie. But
Yeah, it was. She played that all really well. So I think she's running a deception campaign, and her saying, yeah, they're coming for me, when nobody's really expressing that they're coming for her. Although Andrea did mention her to Andrea's credit in an earlier discussion.
Well, you know what I like when they went to vote
What's that?
was Cirie saying that she was going to vote for this person and spice things up a bit, which turned out to be Cirie.
Yeah, she's like she's gonna stir that pot a little, huh?
She's going to make her nervous.
What did you
like,
think
who
of what
voted-
Andrea?
Who voted for me?
Did you know what Andrea said when she voted for Zeke?
I don't remember.
She must have been pretty hurt because she said this was you have terrible gameplay. You suck at this, and so I think she said something like, "I hope I don't have to ever see you again" or something.
Yeah,
It seemed
yeah.
pretty harsh.
I hope I never see you. I hope I see you never or something like that.
Yeah, it was kind of odd, huh?
Yeah, well, obviously she's angry because I'm sure she thought they were in a tied alliance. She said, I've been aligned with him since day one. And he turned on her. He betrayed her. So, of course, she's angry. That's not a big shocker there.
Yeah, but she knows that's how this goes.
That doesn't
She made it
matter if
personal.
you're reacting emotionally.
Yeah, she's made it personal for sure.
Well, you do. It's like,
And Debbie surprised everyone. She played her advantage without giving away the fact that she got all kind of luxury when she was on Exile Island.
oh yeah, she had to give up all those luxuries and everything. She
Yeah.
had to give up everything to have this advantage in the game, but she did it,
Yeah.
and now she gonna use it.
Right, so she
It's
goes
like,
and drops another vote on Ozzy, which, yep, Ozzy ends up going.
Oh,
Zeke got 4 votes, Cirie got 1, Aubrey got 1. Who voted for Aubrey? I forgot.
Zeke.
Oh, yeah, Zeke did.
Why did Zeke vote for Aubrey? That I didn't. I don't know.
Well, Zeke got knocked out of the loop again. Right? He wasn't. Who was the controlling votes? Who took Ozzy out? Debbie with 2.
Debbie, Brad, Troy, Sierra, Sarah, and Ty.
Yeah.
And then Cirie voted for Sierra for whatever reason. And,
Just to aggravate her, yeah.
Andrea,
Rattle her
Ozzy,
cage.
Michaela, and Aubrey voted Zeke.
Yeah.
And I don't know why Zeke voted Aubrey, but I think that should be a really clear message to him that, yeah, well, you definitely out of the loop now.
Mm-hmm.
After this vote,
Yeah.
you voted by yourself. And then I bet you Cirie denies that, oh no, I voted for blah, blah, blah.
I don't know if they'll go one by one and ask them to account for who they voted for, but yeah, that's funny. So we got points for Ozzy.
He tried to be kind about it, but you could tell it was really, good luck eating.
Good job. Now, first, good job, guys.
Good job, guys.
And
Good
then the
luck eating.
backhanded, good luck eating.
Yeah. Cirie looked absolutely shocked.
Yeah.
Andrea looked just like, what? But Cirie
Zeke
was.
looked shocked, right?
I
Sorry,
didn't
buddy.
really see him,
Yeah.
but I was so focused on Cirie with her mouth hanging open.
Mm.
I mean, that doesn't typically happen. People talk about, oh, and I was so shocked and my mouth's up, but Cirie was doing that.
Yeah,
So,
but she could have been playing
I know, but that's
because she knew that she was stirring things up by throwing that vote to Sierra.
I still don't know if she thought that Ozzy was leaving, but whatever. Because that hadn't been brought up to her.
That means she's it. She's the last of the top tier players in the game.
I think she probably thought that it was going to be Zeke, that they were all going to vote for Zeke. Because Sierra was angry at him, is what I thought.
Yeah.
That's why she just
She was
kind of wanted to
surprised.
shake Sierra up a little bit, maybe make her willing to do a little strategy with her.
So
Who
we
voted?
both thought Ozzy would go. We just didn't know it would go happen like this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Surprised us in the end.
Yep.
So I got full points. You got some points. Good job.
We're still tied, though, aren't we?
No.
Yes, we are.
We are?
Yes, we are.
How did I get full points on the second round and you not, and we're
Do
still
you
tied?
remember what the question you asked me was at the end of the last vote?
Mm-mm.
And we said we're tied. Do you remember this? Tied? Remember
Yeah.
that? We were tied after Haley.
And you didn't get full point. Oh, you did on this one. Okay, right. So nothing changed.
So nothing changed. We're still tied, baby.
Right. Okay.
I don't know where your mind went, and you got a little too smirky too quick. Now you got mud on your face.
Celebrating early.
Yeah, no, you just caught up to me.
I see.
For once this season. So
well, just like
enjoy
Cirie,
yourself.
I'm in second gear now, about to take off. So wave as I pass you.
Yes, someone.
Anything else you want to say about Tribal?
No, not tribal.
Next time on Survivor?
The gloves come off.
That's what Probst tells us.
Andrea, never trust Zeke.
No trust for
And she
Zeke.
says you're all shady.
Now, was she saying that to a group of people, or was she saying that to Zeke?
Well, we thought she was saying it to Zeke.
But it doesn't make much sense
But
unless she's saying it
could
to
have
more than
been.
one person, right?
Yeah. I guess we'll have to wait and find out next week.
Yeah.
And Debbie tells us the line is drawn in concrete now that they have Sarah. Mm-hmm. Which is not going to happen.
Not true, yeah. Because Sarah
And-
tells us, hey, there's opportunities, Zeke.
But here's the thing. I think I saw something that I think what Debbie's saying there is the title of next week.
Yeah.
That's at least 3 weeks she's gotten the title. Is Debbie getting the winning edit?
Yeah, could be. We know how important the winner's edit is in
Right.
figuring these things out.
I know it's important to you.
It is indeed. Oh. So, yeah, Cirie's the last big player left in the game. You could...
Yeah, true.
In the beginning of the game, you might have thought Arbery was in that class of characters, I guess, but
There are no legends left.
Yeah,
but Cirie.
Aubrey's been completely ineffective pretty much the whole season. She's been neutralized. I'm not saying that she can't come in and play.
I have to decide, don't I?
That's right. You figured out where I was going with that.
I completely forgot about that.
Right. So the merge has happened, and now you have to start thinking about whether or not you're going to hold on to Aubrey or you're going to switch. Now, those of us like me who lost their USB get to pick a new one. So it's an exciting time for me. No tension. I just have to make a choice. For you, you got to decide whether or not you're willing to
Yeah, like I needed more stress.
give up on a possible 24 points in Aubrey and make a switch over to, who would you switch to potentially?
I don't know. I have not
Cirie?
given it a thought.
You would switch to Cirie.
No, I would not.
Because you'd want to cheer for her
No,
as the last legend left in the game.
no, I still have.
The rest are all second-tier players.
Who else would I want to win?
You could be a Debbie fan. You could jump on that Debbie train.
Well, if Debbie hadn't gone Looney Tunes that 1 week, I might have, but
Yeah.
no.
That damaged her a little bit.
I don't know. You know me and giving up a USB 24, as Rhonda says, probably not going to do it.
Probably not.
So, all right, let's move on. I'm keeping Aubrey.
Yeah, you made that decision that
Yep,
quick.
just like that.
Okay.
Snap.
How about a JSFL update?
There are still 2 people tied for first place.
Mm-hmm.
And we had 12 USBs lost for Haley and 9 for Ozzy.
A lot of people have to make some new choices here.
31 people earned 2 points for Haley as first on jury.
Me.
233 people earned a point for Ozzy.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that at all.
And 98 people lost a safe point for Haley, 32 for Ozzy. And
Now that was bold, putting Ozzy safe. That was some really
that was
bold,
a bold
play.
move. Yeah, it was. Truly.
Oh,
So hopefully it wasn't just people who forgot to make their picks.
Mm-hmm.
Had him safe.
What about that side challenge? How are things shaping up there?
Oh,
Has there been any changes?
You're reading ahead, aren't you?
Have there been any
reading
changes
ahead,
in the
aren't you?
side challenge?
Okay. I'm going to have to live with this, y'all. Okay, with 33 points, Iron Dave, Jeremiah, Nina, and Stacy.
Whoa! What's that? In
32.
First, tied for first?
Shut.
Amazing. I wonder how Jody's doing.
Would you quit? Well,
Okay.
shut up and I'll tell you. 32, Drew. 31, Cold Mike, Hubaloo, and James and Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
With 30, Jonathan and Parker.
Oh, she's hiding the names from me, so I can't see them.
Yeah, you've already looked. Okay, and with 29 points, Brandon, Seth, and Jody.
Whoa, she's out of the basement.
Yay!
She's in the sub, she's out of the sub basement. She's just in the basement now with the other couple other folks, huh? All right, good job, Jody. You got company at the bottom. This is a good sign. Things are improving for you.
Just keep talking.
Anything else you want to say?
Please beat him.
Oh, I'm guaranteed to win at this point. So Brandon can't even remember to get his picks in. So between him and
did he not
Jody,
make his pick?
that's what he said before, right?
Oh, okay.
Between him and Jody, one of them's got a lock on the bottom, as far as I can tell.
Okay, pick.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll see how it all washes out in the end.
It just gets easier for me at this point.
This is the halfway point.
Yeah, halfway into the game. How about that?
Seems like it should be further, doesn't it?
It does seem like it's been going for a while, yeah.
And just think, Haley's going to be over there at Ponderosa.
Mm-hmm.
And for
Ozzy?
a long time. Yeah, her and Ozzy.
Yeah, they'll get more than a couple weeks over there, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, more than a couple weeks.
Just barely, but yeah.
No, it's way more than that. What is this, day 20 what?
24.
Oh, 24 already?
Yeah.
So they get like 15 days. Yeah. I guess that's
that
not
would
as...
be just over 2 weeks, yeah. Oof. Yep. as you figured that out.
No, it just seems like it's further away than that. Yeah, it's 15 days, but for us it's weeks away.
Picking up speed now. Things are moving even faster.
So, yeah, I guess I was just thinking that, there's so many weeks ahead. But I guess for them, not that far.
Right, not that far.
But it probably feels
not
like
even
a long
for
time.
us, right? We're just a little over a month out from the finale at this point. Don't want to think that far ahead right now. Just enjoying this part.
Yeah. Let's just enjoy the moment.
Yeah. So overall, what did you think? Pretty good merge?
Oh, yeah.
Nice twist with someone having to volunteer and take themselves out and then be tortured by it.
Yeah.
Just down the beach.
I'm not sure what that accomplished. I think it would have been better if they had to vote someone out, which is what we thought they were going to do.
Yeah, if you had had an immediate sense of a pecking order.
Yeah, so that each tribe had to vote someone. Now, I thought somebody would still step up and volunteer, but I thought it would have been more interesting if they had them say, your tribe, each tribe has to choose one person that doesn't get to go to the feast.
Don't you think Culpepper still would have volunteered?
Yes, I do.
And if Ty had heard him say that, he probably would have too. So you would have got the same result.
Well, I don't care. It still would have been different.
Okay.
Because that would have been harder somehow and more of a struggle. And though you could tell people were struggling with the idea of, oh, no. But I can see it, Jeff. I can smell it. I can see it. I can't give it up now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep, so good merge, good feast, nice twist with the choices, couple of good challenges. It's always good to see some of the endurance challenges to really weed out the folks that are willing to play hard. And what we really need to see in the next couple episodes is some challenges that highlight the pecking order to help shake things up and introduce more possibilities and shifting alliances.
I think the pecking order changes so frequently that I don't know what it would actually show. It would show the moment is about it with this group because they're all playing and they're playing hard. And I am sad to see Ozzy go. He played a much better strategic game, I think, this time. And and I don't know that he'll play again.
He got taken out old school.
Yeah.
With a little new school twist with Debbie's extra vote.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to credit Debbie with that. I'm not giving it to Sarah necessarily.
No, because Debbie brought it up.
From what we got to see.
No, we can give Sarah the vote. Sarah's not the one that, at least from what we were shown, Debbie's the one that said, hey, if we want to go after a
I only mention it because there's a
target.
little bit of ambiguity. Because Sarah was talking about being the swing, being in a position to be a swing, and she would have been the one if Debbie hadn't had the extra vote. So you can either say that Sarah didn't contribute, or Debbie wasted her extra vote. I guess that would be in keeping with the extra vote not meaning anything.
Yeah, it didn't really make a difference.
Right.
Other than had she told people, they might have gone along with it because of the extra vote. Say, well, we can't be sure of Sarah. Yeah, but I got an extra vote.
But it didn't play out that way. They were happy to switch and focus on Ozzy. And that's a pretty big one to build your resume on. And it seems like Debbie's going to get to take a lot of credit for that.
And I think Ty had wanted to be involved in that for quite some time now. And he obviously was still afraid of Ozzy and the challenges.
No,
but Ty beat him.
Exactly. So it was actually Ty.
He's the new Ozzy.
Ty and Debbie together made it possible to take out Ozzy.
Yeah.
It's like a 1-2 punch, the Ty-Debbie punch.
Yep. Well,
instead of Tai
Ozzy wouldn't
Chi
have been available.
or Taekwondo, it's Ty-Debbie.
Yep. If Ty hadn't beat him. Okay, I think it's time to wrap up the show.
Yeah, we'll get this episode out and get some questions ready for.
I think you've been into Debbie's bottle.
Haley and Ozzy. Well, if it's like she said and it didn't exist, then bingo, you got it. Yeah.
I know. There's not even any in the house, so I know you hadn't any.
So, is that true? No, that's not true.
Oh, somebody gave you some wine. That's right.
There's wine and beer.
Oh, that bottle of beer somebody gave you 2 years ago?
Was it that long ago?
Yes.
Well, it's still there.
The homemade beer that it's out in the
I assume it's
garage
still good.
refrigerator.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. I am mistaken.
Yeah. All right.
There we go.
I'm just as boozed up as Debbie is. All right. So, how do you think it's going to play out from here? You think Andrea's really lost it? Has she lost control? Has Cirie lost control?
Cirie?
Yeah. Sorry, Cirie.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm doing that all of a sudden. Yeah.
It's hard to answer them when you don't know who you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I don't think any of them ever really had complete control. So, did they lose it? No, they never had.
Do I need to frame the question differently?
Obviously.
Right.
If you want a different answer.
Will they be able to recover given that they're down on numbers?
Oh, I think that's always a possibility. I don't agree with this. It's all,
Zeke looks like he's in a really bad space.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know that she's, I don't know if she'll even, Andrea will be open to it even if she doesn't get the numbers, but that would be silly.
Since she's made it personal. She's had such a personal reaction. Yeah.
However, Cirie could dial that back around if she chose. Say, well, we'll vote Andrea out later. Just come with us and we'll, someone has to be the mommy. So Cirie could do that.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, she's the last legend left in the game at this point.
Of course, you don't know who else.
All the others are second tier.
Might offer
or
him
third tier,
something.
Fourth tier players.
It's not over yet.
Definitely not. Excited, looking forward to seeing what happens next, and certainly excited and looking forward to hearing what you thought about this special double episode we got. There's a lot to go through, huh?
Yep.
So we're looking forward to hearing your thoughts. The voicemail line 206-350-1547. There's a toll-free number, 844-643-8737. The email, Joanna and Stacy Show @gmail.com. Whether you're calling in or recording it yourself or writing it up, shoot for that 3-minute mark for the feedback. Watch your volume. That's all. That's the guidance. So it needs to be in noon Pacific time. And then we'll get that show out on Saturday, and we'll try to get you a couple of interviews tomorrow. One with Haley, one with Ozzy. So those are scheduled. We're looking forward to them. Hope they come together. We got some questions we're already working on for them.
Alrighty, let's get to it.
Excellent. Have a good one.
Good night, everybody.